there?
6:35, I think.
Great. Okay. All right. So I would like to make a motion to approve last month's minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay. And all in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Great. Okay, and everybody got to see Stacy's financial report. Well, and the bills that she had sent out in an email.
Yes.
No
Yes, I did.
concerns.
I have the bills here if anybody needs to see anything.
So motion to pay the bills for March,
You want the voucher numbers in total?
please.
Yes.
So it's voucher number 55 through 64,
Mm-hmm.
and the total amount is $6,375.08.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll second.
Thank you. And all in favor?
Hi.
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Thank you. Any questions or concerns with Stacy's director's report?
No, it was very detailed. I thought it was great.
I thought it was great too.
Thank
It
you.
was, it was good to get the feedback on how things are going.
Yeah, I think we're going really well. Everybody's pulled together tremendously under the crazy circumstances we're under. And I think that the staff is doing a remarkable job. So,
All right. Anything else that you wanted to add since sending those out, or any other updates?
no, I don't think so. We just continue to do what we're doing. We're offering about 4 to 6 programs a day, and we just plan to keep it up.
I think you mentioned that the recorded sessions are getting a lot more.
Oh,
Yes, the recordings tend to draw the most people still, but that's okay. And I know that the recordings are generally drawing from our local community, because the stats we collect on the recordings, you have to go to our website to get the link, and now there's a password to view the recording as well. So it's not like, you know, everybody in the world is watching them. Although once they're archived on YouTube, all the programs we do that don't have copyrighted material, we archive, and they get a little bit of stats too, but not that much. I mean, the bulk of our statistics are coming from the recordings that I know people are accessing through our website. So I think that's good. I think that's really good.
That's great. Stacy, I just meant to send you an email, but I might as well tell you now while I've got you on my screen. If you want me to redo that Belva and Lockwood presentation, or now I have one on Catherine Beecher
Oh yeah,
that I developed last year, I'd be happy to do one or both, either one.
okay, great. I'll email you later.
Okay, yep.
and kudos to you and the staff for adapting and making this so successful. It was a quick turnaround, and you all did a great job and are doing a great job. So it's exciting to keep everything up and running and moving, and
Yeah,
having that attendance.
yeah, and thank you for approving Zoom, because it's what makes it possible, really. And we'll probably have to use it for a while. Like, even when we get back to normal, we probably won't be able to have regular programming for a while, because they'll probably still require us to have, you know, social distancing and masks and all that. And I figured out that if we had a program in the community room, probably the most people we'd want would be like a dozen. So it depends on the program, but for a lot of things, like if it were to be a concert, it'd be better off to do it virtually, because 12 people, that's not, a lot of people, but it depends on what you're doing. For a craft thing, it might be okay if you can keep the people spaced out, but that's all bridges to cross down the road.
Sure, but it would be a good idea to keep those being recorded for folks that can attend,
Oh,
for
yeah.
whatever reason, at least they'll be able to.
Yeah, a lot of libraries are talking about that. Like even when things really do totally get back to normal, that maybe we need to keep virtual stuff available or do our normal programs, but always make a recording if we can, because yeah.
That's great.
One of the things working with persons with disabilities, some of the families are recognizing that other people are seeing what their lives are like. That they really can't go anywhere. In many cases, they have they are stuck at home in so many cases, particularly when their child engages in severe challenging behavior, and these kinds of resources are actually amazing for them.
Yeah, that's true. And even because of the board meeting, having the transcription set up for people who can't really hear very well, they can watch. And yeah, sometimes the transcription can be wonky in spots, but it's pretty good for the most part. Like we've come a long way with that.
Yeah.
So
We use Dragon at work and it's amazing. Sometimes accents are tough to pick up, but for the most part, it does a really good job.
yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, Chris. Hi. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you guys?
Good.
So we have a couple of months to catch up on. So can I share my screen? I'm gonna try to share my screen and I can show everybody the reports that we have that way.
Okay.
There, can everybody see that?
Yes.
I can see it.
Yep.
All right, good stuff. So we have this is the normal board report, and it is through March. So I'm not going to show February because that's kind of over. It's past news now. But so this is March, and in the first section here we have the detail for the general fund, the programs, and the grants. That totals up to the year-to-date total, and we compare that to the year-to-date budget, and we have a variance, and we have where'd it go? And we have prior years also there. So this year compared to budget.
I'm sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
There's some kind of really weird interference happening. Is everybody getting that?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it
I don't know. I wonder if we all mute
Yeah, I was
ourselves.
gonna say, everybody go on mute. That might take care of it.
Okay.
It's in the on my screen anyways, it's in the lower left-hand corner.
Talking about the reserves.
Yep, we're talking about the revenues. Yeah, is that better for
Okay.
everybody?
Yep.
Seems like it, yeah. Okay, so in the first part of the page here, we have the revenues, and we're just about $1,000 behind budget, which is really great. It's really close. Typically, we are just about that at this time of year, especially. And on the expense side of things, we're actually about $9,000 under budget. Biggest reason for that is the benefits. We have health insurance that we pay through the town, and we pay that quarterly, and it depends on the timing that we get that bills when we pay it. But so it depends. The budget is pro rata. It's 1/12 of all of the expenses, but depending on when we pay it, we won't see that actually hit our actual operations for another quarter or so.
So Chris, if you were to accrue it, I mean, how close would we be, or we still pretty much underspending?
It's pretty much close. It's funded exactly by the town. So we're right on course. The town gives us that in our tax levy, in our revenue that we get from the town. We actually get the health insurance benefit that way. We're not impacted as much by the cap, by the 3% cap on the budget increase. The contractual is also under budget. That's because of the timing for the New York State library contract.
Hey, how are you?
So overall, operating results wise, we are actually over budget by about $8,000. We have about $524,000 in our reserve account over here in the bottom right here. That has to last us the whole year. So so the way that works is we get this tax levy, we get that earlier in the year, and that has to last us for 12 months. So it looks like we have a lot of cash right now, but that's about all we get, except for what Stacy can generate through revenue or through grants. So any questions at all on that? And then the other pages that are on here, and I just emailed it out to everybody. Sorry for not emailing it. I forgot to email it to everyone. But the support, if you actually want to see the detail behind all of those, they're all the pages are back here. So, but this is the Reader's Digest version. Any questions?
Have we heard anything, Stacy, from or Bruce about the bill for the town? Weren't we waiting for a bill?
Yeah, we paid retirement. It did come through and we did pay it.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah, that was the one that we were worried about because it was supposed to have been paid prior to February. And I guess the town did pay it, but they just didn't send the invoice as early as they paid it. So they paid it prior to December. But it finally came and we got it and we paid it. The check actually went out when Monica was out there this past week.
Great, thank you.
So since we're talking finances, I don't know, Tara, if this is where you want to, get into any discussion about future tax, the revenues that come from the town and with the state of things with the situation and the New York State not collecting all the state taxes and would there be a potential impact to our budget in any way in the future, or would the town ask for money back, or is there some concerns that we need to have?
Are you asking me?
No, I'm just saying, I don't know, Tara, if you've had any discussions with Bruce about this,
No.
or if this is the place to have this discussion in the meeting, or if you wanted to take it up in a different spot. I knew we were talking finances, so that's why I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine to bring it up. Actually, what Gary's referring to is he did send me an email and I had suggested that we bring it up tonight where Bruce could hear the questions and concerns and Chris could as well. And then if there were any questions that had to be taken back to the town or investigating to be done, then this would be the best time to do it. So I don't know at this point if there are any, if we know where we stand as far as those types of questions and concerns. If Bruce, you guys have had any conversations or?
We have not had any conversations about what the state of the income to the town would be for the next year. I suspect it's going to be short all over the state, but we haven't started to have those discussions as far as how that would affect the library. When you said taking money back, that's not something I see that is foreseeable. I don't think it's going to be a good year for anybody to ask for more, but that's just me. I mean, that's me giving a response without having had a conversation. We haven't, as a board, as a town board, have not talked about tax levies. There's an awful lot of other work that's being done, and it's challenging also with the shorthandedness in the office.
We probably won't know anything for a while yet.
Right. I
So
mean, school districts themselves are concerned because there's word that they're not going to get the amount of state support that they've had in the past. So there are questions all over.
So I guess one of my questions would be, we're in this state of unknown, right?
Right.
So should we be looking closer at our budget for this year to say, if there's some hit in the future, are there places where we know we might be able to scale back, or, there's certain places we're not going to get revenue, right? We're not going to get fine revenue. We're not going to get, I would say late fee revenue. We're not going to get copier revenue. I mean, all those things are going to not be what maybe we had anticipated on a 12-month basis. No, those are nits, okay? But I'm just thinking, should we be starting, to look at those kinds of things and see how it's going to affect things, and maybe be prepared if we had to cut certain places, or, maybe start looking and getting answers to those questions ourselves. I just throw that out to the rest of the board.
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, we're budgeted so tightly as it is. I don't know if we really could cut anywhere. We might have to get quite creative in that. And as far as fines, we really don't take that much in. And correct me if I'm wrong, Stacy. Just because we don't charge for fines, it's more of a donation. Unmute yourself. Stacy, unmute yourself.
Might help. For DVDs, we do take in a significant amount, but everything else is fine free. But it's somewhere on the order of $8,000. Does that sound right, Chris? For the DVDs, I think it's in that ballpark.
Wow.
Do you mean just for fines?
Just for fines on the DVDs.
Yeah, like about 4,000 total for fines.
Oh,
budgeted
okay.
for the course
Then
of-
maybe, okay, so the DVDs are 4,000, and then the other money must be donations that I'm
Mhm.
in my brain putting together with that. But it is a significant, I mean, it's still, even if it's 4,000, that's a significant amount of money that we can't collect right now because we're not open. Not that, we want to look at, we don't want to hope people are late with their stuff, but it is a source of revenue.
Yeah.
So I guess the other thought is, Stacy, we're going to have to start planning our next year's budget in the June, July timeframe that we bring to the board by August.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not that far away, right?
We should probably start meeting.
Right. So I ask these questions only because when we get into that deep discussion for next year, we're going to have to start, thinking about, are there areas or places that we need to be thinking differently or whatever. So,
Yeah.
but we can, I suppose we can maybe meet and maybe bring some things back to the rest of the board. If there's any other opportunities for savings or changes based on what's going on.
Right.
Okay.
Any other questions for Chris or about funding at all, or? All right. Bruce, any updates from you?
My update is that there is no update. The timing of all of this is really unfortunate. I did have a conversation with our town lawyer and asked him his opinion of how we can invest the Bullis Fund, and he felt that we are under the same limitations as we would as a municipality spending taxpayer money, that we cannot put the money into anything that would be considered high risk. Which it doesn't surprise me, but it surprises me that I would have a conversation. Who's our lawyer in Palmyra? Why am I forgetting his name?
Ruber?
Paul Rubery. It surprises me that he would ask me about being able to invest at a higher rate. So I've asked David to write me his opinion so that I could share that with Paul. It got me thinking as to whether or not the library should be asking for funds in a different way. I know that we had discussed, it's months ago now, but we were talking about some other creative uses for the bolus room and whether or not we could, I know there was discussion about vertical shelving up to the ceilings so that we could open up the space a little bit more. The reason I mention that is because it's possible that you might be able to get a grant that way rather than talking about how can we get more money so that we get more interest. Maybe we should be looking at a lump sum of money down the road for a project. So I know that
the Bolus Foundation.
No, from the foundation that Rubery's on, he's on the board for, the Genesee.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the name's eluding me.
I think it's just like the Bolus Foundation, but they have a different name. Loosely, it's called that.
Right, but I know that they had just awarded the PCC some money to do some projects too. So maybe we need to look at it differently. Instead of trying to increase the revenue stream by, $1,500, $3,000 a year or a little bit more, maybe we should be asking for some projects because we're not going to be able to get the level of interest that we would have wanted.
One thing to know, if we go for a grant that way, it's a matching grant. So if it costs $5,000, we'll say, to do a project, then you're gonna have $2,500. They're not gonna fund that's how it works.
Okay.
But we would
So
be spending
as
that money.
far as the town goes, we haven't had any further discussions either about our own money. So we were having planning on having some bankers attend the meetings to talk about what they're doing. And so anyway, things are on hold, but I wanted to let you know that. I wanted to let you know that there had been no more progress in that regard.
I think Steve was just trying to talk, but we can't hear you, Steve. I saw it up at the top of my screen.
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, it looked like, okay, sorry.
I think Hal was trying to say something.
Oh, maybe it was Hal.
You're correct. Hal was trying to say something. I could hear Steve.
What I said was, if you are spending money that will not count as funds coming in, if you are spending money on a project, here we'll get the money to the library, but it will not be liquid funds.
But either way, I think, we definitely have some things to consider. But I appreciate you keeping us up to date on what you found. And
yeah. So how did the painting end up going? That
Really
project.
well.
Okay.
The room's yellow, and I think it looks pretty good. The
Yeah, it looks
people that have seen it liked it, and the blood drive people liked it. So
Oh, that's good.
yeah, because you always worry when you pick a color, what if people hate it? But people have liked it, so thank goodness. At first, I wasn't even sure. I'm like, wow, this is really yellow, but I like it.
Right. So I know that the money for the painting was something that was added on at the end of our budgetary discussions last year, and
Yeah.
we were hoping to recoup that through different investing, but that shouldn't concern the library. That was something that was part of the town budget. So.
Well, thank you.
Sure.
All right, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks for nothing, right?
No, it's an update. At least you're still thinking about it and
Yeah.
trying, so.
You carried the paint chips to the town.
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
All right. Phoebe, are you our Friends liaison this month? Oh,
Did we lose her?
just unmute yourself, Phoebe. Don't forget to unmute yourself.
Can't hear you, Phoebe.
There she is.
No.
Now, oh,
No sound.
okay, now try. No.
No,
No.
that's weird.
She's not muted in the meeting, is she, Stacy? I can't see.
No, she's not. Now she is. It keeps going back and forth, but I can't hear.
Yeah, I
Right
saw.
now it's not showing the microphone being red.
But when she talks, we can't hear her.
Can't hear her. Yeah.
Can she call in maybe?
Or if you want to type in the chat, we could read it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess, Phoebe, if you want to try maybe calling in and then maybe we could hear you, or maybe we can just get the notes updated with the last meeting minutes from the friends that were sent.
Yeah, because we could hear Phoebe initially when she came on. Yeah.
Sometimes if you just disconnect, leave the meeting and then come back, it could fix it.
Yeah.
Okay, she did hear you.
Yeah.
While we're waiting for Phoebe, the next thing I had on our agenda was just if folks get a chance to check out the trustee workshops that Pioneer is putting out there. I know they send updates. I have them on my schedule, and I've called into a couple of them. So if you can.
Yeah, I did too. I went to that one last week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was there too.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, very good.
Oh, okay. I don't know what happened.
Me either.
Yeah, Phoebe, I'm taking the minutes of the meeting. Could you spell your last name for me?
It's Meyer, M-E-I-J-E-R.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and I'll give the report about the Friends. Really, we don't have much to report. Our meetings for March and April both have been canceled. Our next scheduled meeting is officially May 21st, but that's iffy as well. The book sale, which had been scheduled for May 14th through the 16th has been canceled. We are planning, which we originally weren't planning to do, but we are planning to join in the community garage sale on August 1st, but without books. And we have some raffles all set up, basket raffles, but those hopefully we'll be able to do maybe in June or July, because we've got a lot of donations from local businesses. So that should hopefully bring in some money. The barbecue and that Doug's Fish Fry is sponsoring, that's scheduled for September 24th. We have a new slate of officers that officially have to be presented at the May meeting. I think basically everybody's going to continue in their present positions, and they're still working, thinking about getting together to look at the grant applications, which I think Mert, you're chairman of, I believe.
Yes, that's correct. I've been working with my committee, and we have collected and part of them are out for review. I have a few more grants that I've collected, but I have to scan them in and then send them out via email and the internet. I'm in process of doing that this week.
Okay, good. So that's about it from the Friends. Unless anybody has any questions.
No?
Thank you for your update.
You're welcome.
Let's see. The Tactical Planning Committee. Stacy, what were your thoughts on that? Don't forget to unmute yourself.
Originally, when I wrote my board report, that seemed like it would be a logical idea, but Ron has been saying that maybe some of that, it would be better to wait until there's more known. Otherwise, you might go through a lot of effort to plan things that you find out you can't do.
Yeah,
like, for example, how will it look when we open? We can have ideas, but I mean, we don't know. Will there be very specific guidelines, like you have to have this type of mask, and you know, we don't know. So he's advising maybe we hold back on that until we know more.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It does make sense. But he does advocate that we all look at our budgets with a critical eye. So.
Okay. Let's see. And then do you want to get together with the policy committee to go over the compromised employees? Or
yeah, that would.
That shouldn't fluctuate.
Right. And that's a tricky one too. It's trickier than you'd think. We'll have to come up with something for how we want to handle that, because you can't just say, well, if you're not comfortable working, I mean, it's a medical thing. So you can't make them feel like they have to not work at the library anymore because of this. You know what I mean? Because then you'd be discriminating. So we need to figure out what to do with this person until it's safe.
Yeah. Well, and again, you know, to your point, it may, things may change the more we learn and know, and
that's true too.
Information comes out. I mean, right. I know certain companies are extending and modifying their paid time off to allow for things like that. So whether that continues or not, or yeah, I'm not sure, but if you wanted.
Well, right now we don't have paid time off.
No, that was just, I know that's one thing.
But maybe she could work from home like she is now.
Yeah.
Well, there are guidelines always changing all the time from the state and, you know, federal government about what is going to be required. And right now, I mean, I don't know, I probably have something somewhere about people who can't work because they're either sick or they have a family member who's sick, and there are all kinds of guidelines about it that have just come out in the last month. So.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, if it was that, it would be clear. But this is
a little different. Yeah.
What do you do with the people? And I'm sure there's lots of people like this person. You know, if you've had cancer and you're on immunotherapy because your immune system's never going to be what it once was. I mean, what do you do with these people?
Where do you fall into that that
Yeah.
picture. And I suppose some of these people may have doctor's notes or something saying you cannot return to this particular type of job, in which case maybe they do qualify for a person,
Unemployment.
yeah, or something.
Yeah.
But I think part of those new guidelines were that you have, for some people, you have to hold their job for a period of time. So I guess we'll just have to
Wait and see.
wait
Yeah.
and see, because it changes constantly.
Right. Yeah. It's a tricky one. I think everybody else isn't, I don't see any problems, but with this one, that one, the one person is a tricky one, and I want to handle it properly. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, maybe we back table that. And I mean, we know that we're good for now with her working at home and where we're at right now. So we can take a look at that once we know more and things start opening.
Mhm.
Any updates or thoughts or?
Before you go off a policy, Tara,
Go ahead.
one of the things I think I heard Ron say when we were in the meeting the other day about new trustees was to make sure that your policy related to emergency closings has something in it related to a pandemic. I don't know, Stacy, if we have anything and if that's a policy that we need to look at and possibly make some updates to. Obviously, based on your conversation right now about even just this person, there's more that we'll probably learn that might impact that as well. But I didn't know if we needed to look at that.
Ours is just very short and sweet. We have 5 paid days for any emergency closing. These are emergency closings that would go above and beyond like a snow day. So, and I know that most likely it's there because of the fire, because I know after the fire there was a lot of, well, Mert can probably talk about that. I think a lot of things got addressed after the fire because, they came up because of the fire. But it's very short and sweet, but it doesn't really talk about, we don't have anything specifically in reference to a compromised employee in a pandemic kind of situation. So I don't know if we want to add something. I don't know.
Is there anything Ron has that's maybe that other libraries are adopting within their policies to address this type of situation?
I can reach out and ask.
Yeah, my guess is that there may be new policy, but this is probably not in anybody's past policies.
Yeah, I shared ours because people were asking at just this last system phone call. I don't know what you want to call it. So I shared ours because actually we have something. It's not maybe the best, but at least it's something.
That's good.
But we probably could build on it.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody wants to do that. Who'd be interested in that?
Well, on our committees, we had Stacy and Debbie on the policy committee. But with that said, I think if we look at what we have in place right now, and if Ron does have anything, it wouldn't hurt to send it out to everybody for review, and then maybe if we want to discuss at the next meeting, or if anybody has ideas on additions. I'm sorry.
Sure, I'll help. If you can send me whatever Ron sent you, I'm happy to look at it and help with that project.
Okay. Anything else on policies? All right. So strategic planning and how our current strategic plan and where we are right now, and any as far as operations and working towards our current strategic plan. I know we were talking about getting together to look at it in general for this year. Do we want to set up some time, or has there been any meetings between Debbie and Stacy or anyone, or any new information?
We were going to meet literally right before the pandemic, and
Right.
then and we put that on hold, not knowing what was going to happen next.
Right.
We certainly can, now that we're functioning again in a different way, we certainly can set up a time to move forward with that.
All right. Do we want to dedicate or pick out some dates and times now, and then anybody else who wants to join, or?
Sure.
My evenings, pretty much after 5:30 are good for the most part.
Oh. I have this week and next students defending capstones, so mine aren't. Let's see. No. Let's see. I'm doing a webinar next Monday. Oh boy. I literally do not have an evening open until Tuesday the 12th. As of right now, I do. I don't have anybody signed up for a capstone.
Works for me.
Okay.
That's a Tuesday.
What time works for you?
My last meeting gets done at 5, so, and I do everything at home now, so I'm not driving anywhere.
Okay, you want to shoot for 5:30? Give you a chance to
Sure.
participating in your lower extremities and they're sitting through all those meetings.
I can, oh, do we have is this a library Zoom?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can make the meeting. Who do
Okay,
I
that'd be
invite?
great.
Who's going then? Is it just, who's on
Does
this?
anybody else want to, so as far as I know, it's just the 3 of us, but if anybody else wants to attend, we'd welcome the
input?
additional persons.
Okay. So do we want to throw it out there to everybody once we get the meeting, and then if people want to join, they can, but it can just be the 3 of us otherwise? Okay, so the 12th, 5:30, we'll kick up the strategic plan. All right, that is all we had on our agenda. Does anybody else have anything that they'd like to talk about or bring up, or anything for next month's meeting potentially? No. All right. Okay, if I could make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
All right. All right, well, thank you, everybody. This was a productive first Zoom for the library.
Yeah,
It's not so bad.
No?
Really.
we're 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much.
It's probably more efficient, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
I just sit here all day long, every day.
Yeah.
Same here. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, take care, everybody.
You
Yeah.
too.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.